Bart Warburton. Welcome to the Mahalo Beginner DVD. I'm going to teach you how to play ukulele. I'm going to use this ukulele and a whole bunch of other Mahalo ukuleles. This is a beginner DVD, so all the things we're doing are for people who don't know what they're doing. If you have no idea how to play ukulele and you just got one and you just got here and you're lost, perfect! You're in the right place. We're going to do chords. We'll learn how to read the diagrams, these things. I'll show you the names of the different parts of the instrument. I'll talk about the different sizes that are available and different tunings, and how to read the chords, how to play the chords, and where to get some more resources for other stuff. And there's a companion ebook with this DVD, so make sure you download that. And if you want more stuff, you can go online to either my website, bartt.net, B-A-R-T-T.net, or Mahalo Ukulele's website, which is mahalo-ukulele.com. Make sure you put the dash in there, mahalo-ukulele.com. And while you're there, you might run into Miss Hawaii, because she plays a mahalo as well. There she is. Okay, we're going to leave her back on the beach and get to you. I'm going to show you a few of the different instruments I'll be using. We've got this one, this one. Let's use this one too. Gotta have that one. Some electric, some acoustic, different sizes, baritone, tenor, soprano, concert size, electric, acoustic, a lot of different types of instruments, and I'll tell you more about them as we get to them. We're going to do the basic chords. We're going to do a lot of stuff that beginners don't know how to do, like how to read the chord diagrams, some basic vocabulary of the ukulele, how to play some simple songs, a little bit of blues, progressions, how to tune the instrument. We'll talk about the different types of tunings, the different types of strings, and a lot of basic stuff that'll get you going. This is a beginner level DVD, so when you're finished, if you want some fancier stuff, try getting this one. This is Ukulele Bart's Ultimate Ukulele DVD, and it's available at my website, bartt.net, or all over the internet, or wherever music stuff is sold. Alright, so let's do it. First, let's talk about the anatomy of an ukulele. I'll show you all the parts and tell you what their names are. Body, neck, head. Just like me, body, neck, head. It's perfect. Body is this whole part. This is the neck, the head or headstock, same thing. These are the tuning pegs. Sometimes they're called tuners. Usually there are 4 of them on an ukulele, but there are 6-string and 8-string ukuleles. On the neck we have the fingerboard, or the fretboard, which is the piece of wood that has the frets on it. Brings us to our next vocabulary word, fret. The frets are the metal sticks that go across here. The fret is also the space in between them. So when we talk about putting your finger on the 2nd fret, we're saying put your finger on the 2nd space. 1, 2. 5th fret, 5th space. This hole right here, where the sound comes out, has a great name. Sound hole. It's called a sound hole because that's the hole that the sound comes out of. This down here is the bridge. This is the nut, as opposed to the nut here that's teaching you. The bridge is where the strings get tied on in the end. Then they go over the nut and get tied onto the tuning pegs. That's about it for now. You don't need to know too much more. It's a beginner level. I don't want to give you too much stuff, but that's the anatomy of an ukulele. Now I'm going to show you how to hold the ukulele. Don't hold it like this. Don't hold it like that. Don't hold it like that. Give it love. Hold it like this. So the sound hole, which projects the sound, goes out to your audience. Don't face the sound hole towards yourself, because then nobody hears you except yourself. Sound hole goes out. Left hand goes here if you are right-handed. If you're right-handed, it goes like this. If you're left-handed, it goes like this, but I'm going to teach right-handed. If you're left-handed, just do everything in reverse. Hold it right about here. Doesn't matter exactly where, whatever's comfortable, but don't hold too much of it. Just hold it like that, and then the other hand goes here. So you do this. There and there. Now you're ready to go. When you strum about where the neck joins the body. You can strum anywhere you want, but it sounds loudest and clearest here. Watch this. That's why you strum about here. Also, if you strum over here like a guitar, you're going to scratch the instrument up. It's not a guitar, it's an ukulele, so play it like an ukulele. Your left hand, your fingering hand, goes like that. The part of your fingers that touch the string, right under the nail. Not here on the fingertips or the pads. That's no good. like that. So you're perpendicular. So when you push down, you'll get that little line in your finger from the string. That should be right under your fingernail. And your thumb should not be over here like that. Not like that, curled over the top. Just like that. The strumming hand, the part that moves is just here. So it's a rotation type of movement with your wrist. Sort of like the beauty queen wave. That's it. That's how you hold the ukulele. Now I'm going to tell you about tuning this thing, because when you first get it, it's out of tune. And then even after you tune it up, it's going to go right back out of tune again. And that's going to happen for a week or two because the strings have to stretch out. So it's a little frustrating at first because you can't keep it in tune, but that's normal for every ukulele. Here's the solution. Stretch them out like that. Take 2 at a time, 3 at a time, and bounce them around. You have to do this every time you change strings also, because each time you put new strings on, you have a string that's been curled up in a bag and it needs to stretch out. You're probably not going to break it unless you pretend it's a bow and arrow, then you might break it. Now that you're even worse out of tune, tune it up. You have a couple of choices. The easiest way by far is to get yourself an electronic tuner. And you can get them anywhere. You can get kinds that light up. They change from red to green, different colors to help you see what's going on. You turn it on. All you have to know for this is G, C, E, A. There are other tunings, and we'll talk about those in a bit, but basic ukulele tuning in the United States and most countries is G, C, E, A. So here's a G. And I just keep turning the peg until this thing says G. There it is, a G. If it's out of tune, it'll say something else, like this. The tuner will tell you when you're in tune. You don't have to know anything. It's the way to go. So you do the same thing for the other strings. G, C, E, and the last one is A. G, C, E, A. And keep your tuner handy, because every song or two you could check your tuning every couple of minutes. You might stay in tune, but at least every 15 minutes or so you're going to need to retune. You can also use a pitch pipe. Mahalo has a pitch pipe. G, C, E, A are the notes. G, C, E, A, so it sounds like this. So all you do is blow the G and make this match. When you have more experience playing and you recognize the tones, that'll actually become a whole lot easier. Get one of these. Some of the most basic vocabulary is, what's the difference between a chord and a note? That's easy. A note is any of these. That sound. A chord is 2 or more of those. So if this is a note, this is a chord. So is this. So is this. So is this. Those are all chords because there's more than one note being sounded. Note, chord. That's it, note, chord. So when we talk about playing chords, we're talking about stuff like this. C, F, G, those are chords. These are notes. Now you know. Most of your playing is going to revolve around chords and reading chord diagrams, like this. A chord diagram is pretty easy to understand. It's a bunch of lines that represent the top few frets of an ukulele. So the lines going down represent the strings. That's why there are 4 lines going down. G, C, E, A. The lines going across horizontally represent the frets. So usually in a diagram there are 3 frets. There can be more. The spaces where you put your fingers. So on a diagram you'll see some dots like this. There's a C chord. It's got 1 dot, which tells you only need to put 1 finger down. Then you strum all the strings. That's a C. Another thing that matters is, which finger do you use? Well, a lot of times on the chord diagrams you'll see a number like this. And if that number says 3, put finger number 3. Your fingers are numbered in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you see a 1, you use this finger. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the diagram says to put finger number 3 on the highest string on the 3rd fret, do it. Something else to understand is that in music, when you talk about top and bottom, it's different from other stuff. The top string on an ukulele or any string instrument is actually on the bottom as you hold it. It's called top because it's the highest sounding string. So as you move down in sound, you refer to them as top string down to the bottom string. So when I said top string, I'm talking about the string that's farthest away from you as you're playing. That's the top string, even though physically it's on the bottom. So on the C chord, you play finger number 3 on fret number 3 of the top string, like this. And then you strum all 4 strings. Now you've played a C chord. So there are 3 things to remember when reading a chord diagram: which string, which fret, and which finger. On the C chord, which string, the top string, which fret, the 3rd fret, and which finger do you use? The ring finger number 3. So there's a C chord. You can use the C chord a lot. It's the easiest chord, and it's ukulele players' favorite chord. Let's do a couple of more chords real quickly. Here's an F chord. Pretty cool, huh? F chord has 2 fingers. So the first one is finger number 1, which goes on the E string. Which fret? Fret number 1. Finger 1, fret 1, E string. So that's this. It also has finger number 2 on the 2nd fret of the G string, which is this note. So you're playing and that. But then when you strum the F chord, you strum all 4 of the strings. So the F chord sounds like this. So we've got C and F. We'll do one more real quick here. That's the G chord, because when you learn C, F, and G, you're ready for lots of songs. So let's get to it. The G has 3 notes to put your fingers on. Finger number 1 on fret number 2 on the C string. That's this. Finger number 2 goes on the A string on the 2nd fret. So you've got this and this. They're both on the 2nd fret. And the ring finger, finger number 3, goes on the 3rd fret on the E string here. So you do this. And that's a G chord. So let's review the 3 chords. C, F, and G. Those are the 3 basic chords you'll need first. Start with the easy ones. I've been playing for about 10 minutes, so I'm going to check my tuning. I tune constantly. Every few minutes, just keep an eye on it. That's why we have clip-on tuners. Let me explain a little bit about how chords work. There are 7 chords. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are the majors. There are also minors, 7ths, augmented, diminished, 9th, sharp, flat, tons of chords. Don't worry about it. You don't need that stuff yet. But you should know that all those other chords are built off the basic chords. So there's a C, for example, C7, C diminished, C minor, C augmented, C 9th, C 6th, C everything. See the world! So if you learn the basic chords first, that's a really good start. The big 8. I think there are 8 chords you ought to learn first, and here they are. Right here. Check this out. C. C7. F. G. And G7's a rough one. Not really, it's easy. E7. Isn't that cool? Check this out again. Watch this. E7. D minor. It's it's a minor. We need to do this twice. One more, that's the A minor, and since it's a minor, here it is. You have the diagrams from the ebook. You have the charts. You can look at them and practice them slowly, but I'm going to give you some exercises now, simple exercises that will help you get used to playing the chords and also be able to change from one chord to another a little more easily. So here are a few exercises. C, F, G, C, F, G. Those are common chord changes. That's why I'm suggesting that you practice in that order, because there are a lot of songs with those chords in that order. Here's another simple exercise. C to C7. This one's really easy. C, C7. That's it. Make sure you change fingers. You have to use the right fingers on the right chords, because later on when you get better, you're going to need good habits. So the C uses the ring finger. The C7 uses the index finger. So C, C7, C, C7. And to practice it, just go back and forth. C, C7, C, C7. And all of these little exercises I'm giving you don't have any rules. They're just chord changes. You can practice them any way you want, but a simple way to do it is just to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until muscle memory kicks in, because once your fingers memorize the chords, you won't have to think about it or even look at the diagrams anymore. Here's another one. F to F7. F, F7. You'll notice that it's almost the same chord. The only difference is you add your ring finger. So F, 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 F7, and back and forth. Until it feels comfortable. You're going to get sore fingers too. It'll probably take you 3 or 4 weeks until you get over that if you play every day. If you play once a week, it'll take you a lot longer. You're going to get little lines on your fingers. You're supposed to. They're supposed to be there right under the nail, and you'll maybe get some blisters and then calluses, and that's just how it is. Here's another simple practice exercise. G to G7. G to G7. Follow the diagrams and you'll see how to do it. D and D minor. D. Check out the diagram right there. That's the D. Here's the D minor. It's getting sad. It's going from happy to sad. Here's a G and a G minor. Here are the minor, gets a little more sad and sinister. Here's one more, A to A minor. This one's pretty easy. A is this. Make sure you use the correct fingers. And to make it a minor, just lift off your pointer finger, like this. A minor. And strum those back and forth in time. Try and keep time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. A minor, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. A minor, 2, 3, 4. After a while, you won't even have to look at your fingers. You'll know the chords by heart. Timing is important too. You've got to keep in time, and in the beginning, you've got so much else to worry about. Your timing might not be that good, but once you get familiar with the chords, think about playing in time. Because when you play with other people, you're going to need to be in time together. There's an ebook that's a part of this DVD, and in the ebook there are complete charts of all these chords. So once you get the hang of playing the basic chords, you can go get yourself some charts and play the rest of the chords too. Let's talk about strumming. I'll use my strumming ukulele. There are 2 ways to write strums. Up and down. That's about all you can do. You can't strum this way, so it's always up and down. You'll see strums written with arrows. Up and down, up and down. If the arrow goes up, your finger goes up. If the arrow goes down, your finger goes down. I'm going to give you a couple of real easy basic strums, even though there's an infinite number of fancy strums you can make up your own. but I'll give you some real basic beginner ones. Here's an easy one. Down, 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 down. I'll use a C chord. Down, 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 down. That's an easy first strum. So all you do is that 4 times. I'm doing 4/4 time music. If the song is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If the song happens to be in 3/4 time, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like a waltz, I would do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So whatever the song calls for, you strum that many times. In this example, in this little exercise, 4/4 time. We'll just strum 4 times. Get the ukulele out, get your C going, strum with me 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a simple strumming exercise. Here's one that's a little fancier. Down, down, up, up, down. Down, down, up, up, down. That was fast. I'll do the same thing but more slowly. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. I'm not going to change chords because I'm trying to focus on the right hand, on the strumming, so it doesn't matter what chord I play. There's an ebook that has these strums in it, so just check out the ebook and follow along the way the arrows go. Here's another basic strum. I call this one the 1 and a. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Down, down, up. Down, down, a 1 and a down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. It also helps to keep time with your foot or your shoulder, your neck, or some part of your body. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. And if you're playing with other people, count this out loud because it helps you get synchronized with the other players. So if you're all going 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a, you'll be much more in sync. Once again, I'm going to tune because I've been playing for a couple of more minutes. Ooh, I'm a little bit out. Perfect! We're going to do some chord changes that are easy and common and that will get you better. C to A minor is a common chord change, and it's easy. A C chord requires you to put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the highest string. An A minor requires you to put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the bottom string. So you've got C and A minor. C, A minor. Make sure you use the correct fingers. C, A minor. So do that over and over until you can do it this fast. It should take you about 5 minutes. Here's another exercise that is a common chord change. F to D minor. F to D minor is pretty easy. F, just like the diagram shows you. And a D minor, all you do is add 1 finger. This one here, the ring finger. And you put it right on that available string. So instead of, you're doing this. So F, D minor. And if you do it back and forth to practice the chord changes, all you're doing is raising and lowering your ring finger. F, D minor, F, D minor. Let's do one more. F to A minor. We already have the F. This is a really easy one. You remove 1 finger. F and A minor. You're using your middle finger for both chords. So you just remove your index finger. F, A minor. And that's why it's important to use the correct fingers on the correct frets on the correct strings, because when you get into more complex chord changes, it'll be a whole lot easier. Sharp and flat. Sharp, move it up to the sound hole. Flat, move it away from the sound hole. Here's a G chord. Here's a G sharp. Everything goes up. while G flat goes the other way. G, G flat, 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 an old neighbor of mine. G, G flat, G, G sharp, G, G sharp. And that's what a sharp and a flat is. The symbol for a sharp is the pound sign. And a flat sign is a little B. Here's a B flat. There's a B. It means everything moves up or down. Flat moves down, away from the sound hole. Sharp moves up. Time for a review. 7-step review, not just any review, the fancy schmancy 7-step review. We'll talk about some of the stuff we've just done. Step 1, get a tuner. Like this, a clip-on tuner. Really, get a tuner. It'll make your life easier. Step 2, C, F, and G. Learn C, F, and G first. Those are the basic chords that'll get you the farthest. C, F, and G. Get used to them. Because 90% of the songs you play in the next year are going to have those chords in them. Step 3, learn how to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And count to 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's because it'll help you play with other people in time. You'll need to know a couple of vocabulary words, the word measure and the word beat. The word measure is, in 4/4 time, for example, the entire count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That count of 4 is called a measure. And measures come in a lot of varieties. In 3/4 time, a measure is 1, 2, 3. So 2 measures of 4/4 time would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I counted to 4 twice. That whole set of 1, 2, 3, 4 is a measure. Each of the individual tones in there is called a beat. 1, 2, 3, 4 is one measure with 4 beats. So 1 is a beat, 2 is a beat, 3 is a beat, 4 is a beat. So the difference between a measure and a beat is a measure is a series and a beat is a single. Bum. You can practice this with a metronome. There are a lot of free metronomes online. Just go on the internet and type in metronome and you'll find a lot of them. You can change the speeds. You can practice fast, slow, do whatever you want. But it's a good idea to practice because you may think your timing is perfect. I guarantee you it's not. A metronome will be the judge. Da, 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 da. Learn some strums. We already did a few practice strums. Down, 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 down. It's an easy one. That's about as easy as it gets. So practice that one first. Down, 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 down. Make up your own strums. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Doesn't matter what you do. Everything is a strum. Everything is legal. You can do whatever you want. There's no strum police. So make up some strums. Write them down using the arrow notation we talked about and practice them. The next thing to work on is switching chords. We did some exercises switching particular chords in particular orders. Those are good ways to get started because I gave you some common chord changes. But you can pick any 2 chords. Once you get the easy ones, go for some fancy ones. G, E7, G, E7, A minor, D7. Pick any chords, write them down so that you don't forget what your pattern was. Make your own pattern. Write down several chords in a row and share them with other people and practice with somebody else. And then the next thing, fancy stuff. After you get used to switching some chords, then check the metronome out. Put the online metronome on, or if you have an actual metronome, turn it on and see how good your timing really is. Change the speeds on the metronome. Go really fast, go really slow. You may find it harder to go slow. Step number 7 for the Lucky 7 review is make some ukulele friends. Go online, go on the internet. The ukulele is an internet thing. They're all over the place, ukulele players. In your town. They might even be in your bathtub. Go check. So get some ukulele players to hang out with and get some that are at the same level as you, some that are better than you. Go to meetups, go to all the social networking sites. You'll find a lot of ukulele players. Type in ukulele and you might even find me. And if you do find me, well, friend me on Facebook. And while you're there, why not friend Mahalo Ukuleles? They're on Facebook too. Mahalo-ukuleles.com is their website. My website is Bartt.net. Make friends with all of us. Maybe we'll meet up somewhere. There are all sorts of ukuleles, acoustic, electric. This one's electric. This is the Mahalo surfboard design, kind of like a surfboard. This one is solid body, which means that this wood is a solid piece of wood. There's no sound hole because it's a solid piece of wood. There's no hollowness to it. And they make this design with nylon strings, and they also make the same thing with steel strings, so it sounds a lot more like an electric guitar. This one sounds sort of like an electric ukulele. You plug it into any amplifier, any PA system like this. Check it out. Take your cable, plug it in. You still have to tune it though. We'll get to that in a minute. It's got a volume control and a tone control. So the volume control, this thing gets pretty loud. And there's also a tone control which changes the tone. Check this out. That's with the tone volume turned, the tone button turned all the way off, and I'll turn it up. A lot brighter, a little bit more guitarish. I'm going to put it in the middle between ukulele and guitar sound. I still have to tune it though, and the same clip-on type tuners work. Just clip it on and it picks up the vibration through the instrument, and you push the button, turn it on. Same tuning, G, C, E, A. Okay, so we're in tune. I can take this off. I'm going to play a little bit of a blues pattern, a simple one that uses chords we've already gone over. C, F, and G. A 12-bar blues in C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason I called out the 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of yelling the chords is because I wanted to emphasize the fact that I counted 1, 2, 3, 4 12 times. Each count of 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll remember, is a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a measure. A 12-bar blues is called 12-bar blues because it's got 12 bars in it, or 12 measures. Same thing. A measure, a bar, same thing. So there's 12 of those. A bunch of C's, some F's, and some G's. I'm going to play it more slowly. You can play along and follow the diagrams. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. C, 2. Change to F. F, 2, 3, 4. F, and back to C. C, 2, 3, 4. C, go to G, 4. G, 2, 3. F, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. There's an ebook that goes along with this DVD, and in the ebook there is a chart for that simple song, and you can make up your own words. I'm going to play it without the counting so you can hear in a more natural flow. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. Just like I predicted. 12 measures, 12 bars. Bam! Bam! This is a solid body electric ukulele. Now I'm going to show you a hollow bodied ukulele. There it is. This one's got a sound hole. You can play it without plugging it in. Check it out. Oh wait, what did I forget? Always stay in tune. You gotta be in tune, otherwise you're out of tune. All of the instruments I've shown you so far are in G, C, E, A tuning, although I could change the tuning if I want. But these are standard G, C, E, A tunings. And I'll show you a baritone in a minute that has an entirely different tuning. I tune a lot when I'm playing, and you should too. You should constantly be tuning, because every time you play, you go a little bit out of tune. Just the act of strumming a few chords makes your strings go just a hair out of tune. If you play for half an hour, you're going to be out of tune. So this is an electric hollow body. It's got a sound hole, and I can play it without the cable. I can just play it like any other ukulele. And it's It's beautiful. Oh, by the way, this is a soprano size, and it's got a volume and tone button right here, so you can raise the volume, lower the volume, adjust the tone, and you plug it in right here, and inside this little box here there's a jack where you plug this in, and also a little, let me show you this. This is a battery, because electric ukuleles operate on batteries. Usually they're a regular 9-volt battery, so here it is. And the batteries go out depending on how often you play, every couple of months maybe. If you play a lot, maybe every few weeks. So you just pop it out, put a new battery in, and pop it back in. You're ready to go. Now I'm going to plug it in. Now I'm strumming without turning the volume on. Now I'll turn the volume on so you can hear the difference. I can adjust the tone too. And if I'm playing outdoors at a show, I can plug this in and I won't have to stand up next to a microphone and hold the instrument still so that I'm right in front of the microphone, because I like to move around when I play. This way I can just plug it in and move around when I play. And I'm going to play a great song I wrote just for you. It's called, doesn't have a name yet. I'll make one up right now. It's called See Me Play. See me play every day. G, I'd love to see you play. C, F, and G are the chords. See me play every day. G, I'd love to see you play. I'll do that again. Watch my left hand and you'll notice the chords match the words. It makes it easier for me to remember what chords are next. 1, 2, 3, 4. See me play every day. G, I'd love to see you play. Again. See me play every day. G, I'd love to see you play. You'll notice I strummed 4 times for each chord. That's one measure with 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each number, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is a beat. The whole series of 4 beats is a measure. One measure of C, one measure of F, one measure of G, and a final measure of C again. Let's do it one more time together. 1, 2, 3, 4. See me play every day. G, I'd love to see you play. See me play every day. G, I'd love to see you play. So with the electric, you can do a lot of stuff that you can't do on an acoustic because it's louder and you can electrify thyself. Yeah! This is a soprano-sized ukulele. It's the smallest of the standard-sized ukuleles. They come in a lot of other sizes. Soprano, concert, tenor. They're all played exactly the same way. The only difference is the size, so your fingers might be more comfortable on a bigger or a smaller instrument. Tenor, a little bit louder probably. You won't be able to tell a lot of difference just from listening like this. It's more about the comfort and the feel of your fingers. Soprano, concert, tenor. The big advantage with the tenor is you have a lot more frets and you can do a lot more soloing. But since this is a beginner DVD, we're not going to get into that. But just know that there's a lot of stuff available. But there's more. There's another one. The baritone ukulele. That's the daddy or the big mama. So it's different. Those other 3, the soprano, concert, and tenor, are all played exactly the same. They're tuned the same. The baritone is a whole nother story. It's got an entirely different tuning. This instrument is tuned the same as the highest 4 strings on a guitar. D, G, B, E. So you can still play the same chords and everything, but they'll sound different. It's in a different key. You still can use a tuner on a baritone. Now we're in tune with the baritone. And you do the same fingering. The only difference is If I played this fingering pattern on one of the other instruments, I'd be playing a G chord. On the instrument, on the baritone, I'm playing a D chord. So you can play all the same fingering patterns, you'll just be in a different key. That's an F on the other instruments, it's a C on this instrument. That's a C on the other ukuleles. On this one, it's a G. And it sounds deeper. Baritone ukulele. And when you get a baritone ukulele, you've got to get different strings. You've got to get baritone strings because it's a completely different tuning. It's a whole nother instrument. It's very similar to a small guitar. The tuning is the same as a small guitar. It's only got 4 strings instead of 6, but if you're a guitar player, you can pick one of these up and play it right away. Everything is the same other than the 2 bottom strings are missing. We've done a lot of beginner stuff. There's other stuff to do beyond this DVD. I'll just give you a little sample of a couple of things that you can move on to later on, because the stuff in this DVD is for beginners, it's basic, and eventually you're going to learn it all and you're going to be ready for more. You can do stuff like finger picking, stuff like that, where you're using your picking fingers in a lot fancier way. You can still keep just one chord, but you're doing things with the right hand. I'll play a little bit of something I wrote called Island Chickens. You notice I did a lot of stuff with my right hand. These chords weren't changing a lot. That's finger picking. Another thing you'll get to eventually is called chord solos. That's when you play the melody along with the chords. I'll play a little bit of it so you can see what it's all about. Chords, melodies at the same time. Chord solo or a melody solo. I'm here with my concert-sized model, the middle size. And we've done a lot of strums in here. Well, actually not a lot. We've just done a few, really. Down, 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 up, down, up and down, back again. But there's a lot of other stuff for later. I'll just give you a quickie. There's something called a triplet, which takes these 2 fingers. And that's not now, that's for later. This is a beginner DVD, but just so you know, there's more coming. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. We'll get to that some other day. Also, I'll show you something called a fan stroke. That's where you take all these fingers and you fan them out. You're not going to get that now. Don't even bother until you've been playing a little while. You got enough to do, but it's out there. And other stuff like calypso. There's a lot of stuff in there. I'm doing some muting, a little bit of combination of fan strums. There's a lot of stuff out there. The reason I'm showing you this without teaching it to you is so that you hurry up and get through the beginner DVD so you can get to the fancier stuff that comes later. We've done some basic chords in here, C, F, G, a couple of minors, a couple of sevenths, and you have charts in the ebook, so you can get a lot of other chords to look at and practice later on. But to give you an idea of what some of those things sound like, there are diminished chords. That's what you play when you tied someone to the railroad tracks. But don't really tie anyone to the railroad tracks. There are augmented chords. C and C augmented. C, C augmented. Every chord has an augmented and a seventh and a minor. Check this out. So those are for later, but the diagrams and the charts are in the ebook, so if you feel adventurous, figure out some of those chords and work them into your playing. Oh, and also for much later, there are chords all the way up here. There are chords all over the place, just for fun. Find the highest note your instrument makes. I do this at my workshops. The first thing I do to get people to be adventurous, find the highest note your instrument makes. Do it right now. And just play it. Because otherwise you may go years without ever playing that note. And mess around with those notes. Even though this is a beginner DVD and we're not going to do any of this fancy stuff, you should know that you can later on. And when you're ready for fancier stuff, remember there's always Ukulele Bartt's Ultimate Ukulele DVD available at Bartt.net and lots of other places. Check it out.
Mahalo is the one I like to play when I'm in the mood to strum ukulele. It's the Hawaiian word for thank you and the word that makes me dance too. I strum and strum and strum and sway all day. Mahalo is the one I like to play for tomorrow, yesterday, and for today. 'Cause with just 4 little strings I can do most anything. Mahalo is the one I like to play, my ukulele. Mahalo.